matchup.
But I absolutely love the way that he is approaching that loss in regional event number 3. I mean, Ground Zero, so dominant so far in regional event 1 and 2, taking first place in both events. Coming out into regional 3, you know, you expect them to have the same result, but it's not that promising for him, and that's because this Riot squad is just that good. But what he said, you know, taking that loss as a wake-up call to get back on the grind, to come into this major prepared and ready to fight. I love that approach, and I expect them to do great things in this series.
And so far, seen a bit of back and forth. Ground Zero stuck in their half a bit as Riot is going on the attack. Leduc will pop that up. Express good speed, and now Amphis racing to it. The shot will be high. Walcott gonna still take that up the backboard. Torshoff trying to keep that in. Gets the bounce to the middle.
Oh, Amphis, what? He kept up with the ball. Wait, hold on. Hold on a second. I'm going into his perspective. He got bumped up, kept boosting, and still found a touch. This is the first goal of the series that we get. I don't think there's much more you can ask for out of the first goal, James.
Well, that's what it's gonna take.
Oh my
Round
goodness.
0.
That is insane.
Great start, especially for Amphis. Now Torsus gonna dunk that ball down. Express. Late flip. Long clear from Spy Doge.
Oh, and that's the player that I'm watching out for, James, is Spy Doge. Gibbs talked about he didn't have a lot of faith in Riot because they're always on the defensive side, but I mean, I feel like they enjoy playing that defensive style. I mean, all 3 players, I believe, were in the top 4 for Savior medals in regional event number 3 finals. You know, these guys are comfortable being on the goal line and making counterattacks just like this. You get the save, James, and move forward with that clear to have a counterattack.
And it looks like Express was coming up for a challenge and side flipped. And we saw in the last series game, man, Ben, that side flip that cost his team the game, and now Express's side flip costing Ground Zero that equalizing goal.
That's tough. I mean, this is honestly where you can even talk about the controller dodge dead zone. You know, maybe even increase that to try to prevent that from happening, because it's been a frequent issue. That's a good demo, actually, from both teams. They cancel each other out. But Amphis still a threat in the air. Amazed at that first goal that he managed to get and react to, James. That I'm still kind of amazed by it. Not gonna lie, I don't have any words on how that goal came to be.
Amphis, you're a mechanical player like that. Sometimes you just go for it and you think maybe I'll have enough boost. Walcott defending nicely. Back-to-back saves from Walcott.
Wow. But that's where they thrive, James. With this Riot roster, they love being on the goal line, and that is promising for a roster looking to make long strides in the OCE region. These guys, so much momentum has been gained overall for them. I mean, they didn't make playoffs in Regional 1. They lost in quarters Regional 2, win Regional event number 3, and now they're storming through this major.
I like that pass from Express into the middle. When you've got players camping that goal line, that infield pass going to be extremely effective. We already see 7 saves from Riot. Just 2 coming out of Ground Zero. So that goal line posture, it's been working well enough. Express, that was a handy demo, or bump rather, at the midfield. Getting his team some space. Amphis' second effort. He's going to be out of boost, floating out of the play for a while.
Going to be a lot of backboard reads here for Riot. If they want to play this defensive game, they have got to be solid with those reads. The overhead hits have got to make good contact. Otherwise, Ground Zero is going to suffocate you. Take your boost just like this from Express. He grabs the corner, then takes the other one as well. Boost gone for Riot. We're just waiting for a single mistake to come out for Ground Zero to punish on.
Portos almost got that pass out to the middle. Express committing there. Amphis got the mid boost as well. Reset. Going for the flip reset.
Double tap.
Almost pinched it in off the crossbar. I was holding my breath. Amphis looking for another highlight reel play.
We've been seeing mechanics left and right from this Ground Zero squad, James. I don't know how many flip resets. I'd say maybe 4 or 5 so far. Not just from Amphis, but also from Torshoff. That one saved from Spy Doge. And they're not panicking, James. How are they holding on strong against this threat of an offensive ground zero?
Well, that last play, Amphis, he pinched it off the crossbar and out. He was inches away from making that play work. And now, ground zero on the defensive. Amphis. Does that ball go over to Torsos? Amphis gets denied. Leduc barely got his fingertips on that ball.
You need a solid counterattack. After all these saves, you're going to force ground zero to get a bit desperate and overextend. You've got to find a perfect clear to the other side with a teammate waiting to strike, James. That's their one hope for Riot. Otherwise, this pressure is going to be too much.
Well, this could be a chance. Walcott going to have to get the hit. Will push it down to the ground. And we have overtime in the first game. So many shots coming out for ground zero.
This is a little preview of what we get in this best of 7, James. Overtime in the first game and an air dribble bump from Torsos across the field. He started on the ceiling in his own half.
That was nasty. Spidoj getting manhandled by Torsos. And Torsos, that first little flick coming off the ceiling, that was an incredible play. Wow, what a way to end it.
And you have to be so efficient with your boots, James. When you're coming from a clear on the ceiling in your own half that deep in your defensive side, it's so easy just to spam your boost, try to get behind the ball and go for the biggest clear possible. But Torsos, what does he do? He recognizes the situation that he is in, and knows how to take out that last defender and just barely carry the ball enough to make the distance to the goal line.
And that was an incredible start to the game, an incredible end. We saw the mistake from Express, the side flip that opened up the goal.
Yeah.
And then even this last second save from Spidoj coming off the ceiling. And then this wonderful play from Torsos. You knew that the mechanics had the chance to make the difference, especially for ground zero. We saw them going for those multiple flip reset plays, going for those highly mechanical plays. And in the end, that's what did it for him. Torsos going the distance.
Well, if you're a team like Riot and you want to play that counterattack style where you're kind of conserving energy and waiting to explode out of your own half, you have got to maintain some boost. And that's something that Express has been taken away from them, starving them out nonstop. You see his rotations, you pay attention to them on the field. He's taking the boost pad. He's even taking the small pads in their zone, trying to starve them out and prevent that big clear from coming out.
Express trying to go for a dribble. Amphis dives in on it. Torsos will get full boost on the ceiling again. Gets a demo on his way down and the block, but he's out of boost. Nothing left. Express will take it to the corner and gets the boost steal.
Yep, there it is. There it is. You see him toss that ball right into the corner. He doesn't want to prioritize winning the 50, but instead getting the boost. Let's see what he does in this corner, going off the sidewall. Actually disregards the boost, doesn't even care, but doesn't get the best 50. This could be a chance now for Riot, but instead it's turned over to Amphis with a midfield pass from Express.
And you see Spidoj getting a bit hesitant to challenge, perhaps needed to attack that with more vigor.
I saw that ball go in the midfield. I thought Express got some kind of 50, but that was just a poor touch from Riot, dishing it out to somebody on ground zero.
And the hesitancy to even challenge that ball when it's in front of your net like that, someone's got to go. You can see how that's affected Riot. They're happy to set up on their goal line, but sometimes, at least so far in this series, looking a little too passive. Walcott right down the setter. Amphis will go for the sideline, and Spidoj will send it back down. Torsos with the touch up to Amphis. Amphis going for the pass over, and a little slip underneath the defense. Express. That was some finesse.
It's so difficult to hit these shots too and make the ball not go any higher. Express just a tiny chip on the ball, boosting it ever so slightly. That's all you need to get it into the back of the net. And you saw how much space Riot were giving ground zero, James. Nobody was ready to challenge, and it gave Express plenty of time to line that one up.
And Amphis as well never stopped going for that ball, was set on getting that second touch.
Oh, here we go. Look at the space in the air. Nobody even can challenge him. The rotation's not fast enough. This is just better mechanics, simply put, for Ground Zero. Putting on a show for us.
Does look like Riot has been outpaced so far. Bump, though, will open up the attack now for Walcott and Spydoge. They jumped on this so quick.
Oh, yeah, take a look at Walcott, too, how he comes into this challenge. Express almost got a bump on him, but that first touch from Walcott is so crucial to keeping this play alive. Walcott, nice little chip to himself, gets the follow-up, drops it into the midfield. Spydoge able to put it away off of a nice team pass.
But Leduc, that bump on Express getting in the way, that gave that small moment, that small opening. That gave it to Riot, and they were able to convert. So making the most of the few opportunities. Now within one, can they tie it up? Spydoge, that's a nice pass. And now Walcott gonna have to handle this alone. Will pop it. Second effort, gets it out to Leduc. Leduc going for the backboard, but Torsos is there. And will push it to the sideline. Got full boost in the corner. Gonna be able to air dribble for a while.
Oh, and that's so deadly. You see why Torsos getting another bump. He air dribbles it out of his own half and then goes for a physical play, making use of that extra rotation coming out. But we've got more offense from Riot. This is a re-energized roster so far on the pitch, James.
And that ball going across the middle. It looked like a bump in net, and Walcott will pick up another goal for Riot.
Yeah, you can see Express actually backed up, went for a pre-jump, and Leduc landed on him, and then just said, I'm already here, I might as well flip into you, take you out of the play, and give my team a free net.
That was absolutely brutal.
It started out with all these mechanics, James, and it's just gotten bloody out here on the pitch.
Leduc, he has been a nightmare for this Ground Zero squad, getting many bumps. Both goals coming off his physicality. Walcott tried to cut it around, going backwards, rebound out to Express, and Spydoge will make the save. Walcott will hit it to the corner, and Riot survived for the time being.
Oh, but for how long? Torsos was going for a couple of bumps. This time it's Amphis trying to crash the net, but nothing is enough to break down the defense of Riot. The second half of this game, they've had most of the possession and far more of it that looked more promising. Really, Amphis going for a double tap off the backboard, doesn't get it, and Walcott a simple little clear out. Still trying to handle this pressure, though, from Ground Zero.
Riot's going to have to be careful. They've been leaving that backboard open for Ground Zero, and Torsos had that ball bouncing out in front of net yet again off the backboard. Express unchallenged, rebound to Torsos, and he puts it upper 90.
Oh, yeah, and it all comes down to the speed. This is Torsos predicting where this pass is going to be. What a double tap attempt as well from Express. It kind of faked the defense out. If you're going up for that aerial, James, you're assuming he's going to make contact, and you have to read and play that prediction.
And again, the backboard left completely open. Under 30 seconds left to go. Riot gonna try to tie things up. Walcott getting a bump on Torsos and net, but Amphis has Spydoge one-on-one. Will flick it to the corner. Walcott pops up for Spydoge. Spydoge stopped by Torsos at the midfield. Last chance. Riot gonna have to take this all the way downfield. Torsos will let that touch, and Ground Zero pick up their second game win in a row.
Oh my goodness, barely. You could see towards the end of this game, Riot were on the move, looking for bumps, much stronger clears. I think their touches were still a little bit too linear. Sometimes they just simply hit it to the backboard instead of going for those midfield passes. But what a game two we got, James, in this series. I hope we start getting a little bit more out of Riot because they look like they're gaining momentum.
I mean, Riot, they had some good plays, mainly coming off the back of Leduc, who was going for many bump plays, many physical plays. But then you look at how much space that Riot is giving to Ground Zero, how many backboard bounces that that has been allowed to take place. And you're not surprised that Ground Zero is putting these shots in. They are keeping most of the pressure on, and Riot, They're going to have to dig deep now. They find themselves 2 games behind in this best of 7. It's going to be a difficult road to get back into the series.
Yeah, especially with that one chip shot that we saw, I believe from Express. He had so much space and time to line it up, make sure he's getting it on net and doesn't overshoot it. For Riot, like you said, James, you need to challenge much faster. I still think a lot of it is coming down to the boost game, because usually when you see a team like Riot, who we all know has individual skill, be this slow, it's simply because of the boost. They can't find enough of it. But Leduc, when he does have boost, he's making it count with these shots.
Now Walcott didn't even really have to do much. That was just a clear that went right out into the middle for Leduc. And that's one of those plays that you want back. Express, we saw him side flip earlier, now flipping that one right out to the middle.
Not sure which one is worse at that point, James.
Well, still working out though. Ground Zero, despite those few mistakes coming out of Express, has been able to get back-to-back wins.
Yeah. Well, and it was really good resilience that we saw from the team in the previous game, where they had, lost their lead, got tied up from the aggression and couldn't handle it from Riot, but they adapted on the field. Their defense tightened up a bit. Rotation still looked a little bit cleaner, and they were getting taken out with physicality. But Leduc, 2 in a row. Look at the accuracy on this man.
Yeah, Torsos off the ceiling down, and not much boost to work with for Leduc. Amphis, if that ball is going top shelf, Amphis is going to have that safe, but it goes far down right underneath him. That was a perfect shot. That could not have worked out much better. And a strong start for Riot, thanks to Leduc's precision shooting.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm a little bit scared if you're Ground Zero. I mean, the previous series, you got reverse swept in a best of 7 against these guys. You don't want to let them get momentum any earlier. And things are not looking too good so far, but still plenty of time, James, for Ground Zero to adapt like they did in game number 2.
See a trade on the goal line. Torsos and Spidoj taking each other out. Lots more defense being forced out of Ground Zero. Leduc challenging Express. Taking that out. Amphis with a ton of boost. Pre-flip into it. Going for the double tap. Amphis just off target. Looked like he was cooking up something brilliant.
Oh, and
I
feel for Express, James. And is this counterattack going to go in? No, it's safe from Torsos. I can't even keep up with this. This is some very fast-paced Rocket League. I'm loving every second. But Express on that play with the double tap from Amphis. He had cleared the way for Amphis to get that double tap, took the corner boost, and got a demo. Huge opportunity missed. Riot, that's a big sigh of relief.
And that's the setup you dream for in a threes environment. The demo that gives you space. You pick up full boost. The ball's floating there. It looked like it was going to be a highlight play.
Oh, yeah.
And Amphis just off. We've seen him barely miss a couple of times now. The one where he pinched it off the crossbar and it went out. And now the pre-flip into double tap. Again, narrowly missing.
Oh, look at the slow play, but taken out from Torsos. So much aggression from Ground Zero. And yet Riot hold on to this lead 2-0. Coming up on 2 minutes now. Express getting another demo. We've barely seen any retaliation from Riot, but at this point, they don't need to if they can keep the defense strong.
Torsos had Express in the middle. That ball got away from him. Now Amphis caught in no man's land. You see the double commit. Torsos going there. Leduc. The double tap. Leduc showing Amphis how it's done.
I was just about to say, this is a little bit of classes in session right now for Leduc. He's the teacher, Amphis the student. Take notes right now. That's how you finish off a double tap, James.
Leduc, what a game so far. A hat trick, and that to cap it off. Spidoj off the corner and out. Torsos, he'll stay with it. Pre-flip. Well, ended up just flicking it out. Torsos will recover.
Goodness. Okay, I'm pretty sure Amphis heard me. He heard the roast, he heard me talking, and he hits us with this pass. Top down. While it looks a bit simple and not as fancy as the double tap, getting to that aerial that fast and finding solid contact where you can hit the top part of that stadium, that's beautiful and a lovely play from Amphis. Now a shot so fast, blisters into the back of the net. It's within 1 for ground 0.
This went right over to Torsas. Torsas pops it and immediately knows what he wants to do. I don't know if Leduc jumped early because he knew Torsas was coming or what. But that shot from Amphis is going to be enough.
That was a clanger, absolutely. Leduc didn't even expect that ball to have that much heat placed on it. Now an attempt for Spy Doge, possibly getting some revenge here of his own for Riot. They still got the lead, just need to hold on. 1 minute and 12 seconds, James. Focus on the 50s as you're coming out with this defensive play style.
This game, it seemed to be all Riot, but now after those 2 quick goals, ground 0 surging. Final minute of gameplay, Walcott will stop it at the mid. Second touch doesn't come through, however. Torsas will hit it over to Express. Express to Amphis. Amphis goes high. Rebound out to Express. Amphis
he hits
back
it.
down. Torsas finishes the play. Ground 0 was smothering Riot.
Amphis stays on the backboard. That is an insane play from him. The awareness to know you need to stay on the backboard. There's a possibility that ball's getting hit up to you. Just make the connection. Make sure it's soft enough to drop it down. Amphis reclaiming the throne, it feels like, from that double tap miss earlier and a follow-up from Torsas. You can't stop him, James.
Leduc gets a hat trick. And now we see one for Torsas, and it's to take the lead in the final seconds. Ground 0, they were getting pummeled this game. Leduc was putting on a clinic. And then ground 0, they score, they get a kickoff goal. They get that team play where they're attacking the backboard.
Yeah.
What a turnaround this was. Ground 0 snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. But it isn't quite over yet.
Absolutely, and we have to reiterate, this is to go to match point. Ground 0 win this. They're in match point in the same spot they were in Regional Event 3 against this roster. We're looking at a reverse sweep again from Riot in a best of 7.
Torsas trying to get that down. Walcott will keep it alive for one last play.
Possibly.
Leduc can't keep it airborne. Ground 0 complete the comeback.
My goodness.
I did not think they had a chance to get back into this.
I mean, there's a second chance now for Riot to get another reverse sweep, James. It's insane. I can't even begin to explain how difficult it is for a player to push through the mental barrier of a reverse sweep in a best of 7. In a best of 5, sure, you know, you get a couple of momentum games in, and then you get into game 5, things kind of refresh. But this requires so much stamina. You lose the first 3. Now you've got to win 4 in a row.
But not, you know, you wonder though, will they be able to do it? This game was so difficult for him. Amphis, he missed. He came close so many times. And then Leduc, look at the clock. 1:49 left, up by 3, and somehow Ground 0 still manages to battle back, tie things up, and then take the lead. We saw some incredible plays. Torsas, he was the finisher. He was getting the goals. Amphis coming close, did distribute the ball, was getting a lot of chances, and that's what we have been seeing from Ground 0, is they have been getting so many chances. They've been creative in generating the chances, coming close on a few big plays, but came up short until the very end, and they managed to pull this one out. So that was a huge comeback win. They're now up 3-0 in this series. This could be the last game. They could close it out here, Turtle.
And as we're rewatching those replays, I'm still baffled at the awareness for Amphis staying on the backboard. Usually in those situations, you want to rotate back as quick as possible, but there was no panic, absolutely, in his body, and he just remained calm, stayed on the backboard, got the clutch play. We'll see if he comes up huge again at match point for Ground 0 against Riot. They've got to do it again, get that reverse sweep.
When you talk about the clutch factor, Torsas, one of the most clutch players that we've seen come out of the Oceanic region. Express will pop that. The Duck double committing with Spy Doge. Walcott last back. Pass over to Express. Express is going to kick down, but Walcott had it read.
Oh, that was a lovely read, from Walcott. He needed to find a touch there. Otherwise, it's dropping down for a free shot to ground zero. And we're seeing a repetitive style out of ground zero with the physical plays. You've got Torsos right now. Take a look at him. He's trying to take out a player on that X rotation, then go for a corner boost. You see the same thing from Express. They're trying to do as much as they can on the field, regardless of where the ball is. Take the boost, go for a physical play, and give your teammates some space to work with.
The Duck got that off the corner over to Spy Doge. A light lob. Express will get it down. Amphis against Walcott. Going for the musty, fakes it. I was hoping he'd pull the trigger.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. I thought he had it. It looked clean. If he had done the flip, it would have gone in. I guess it doesn't matter when you got Torsos. Like we talked about, the clutch factor is what this man brings to the team. What a follow-up off the sidewall.
He picked up the mid-boost at the perfect time and also got a crazy pinch that went up off the ceiling. That was pure reaction from Torsos. But Torsos has excellent reaction time. Gifted mechanical player. We see Express now with a chance to make a highlight play of his own.
Oh, I love that early challenge from Spy Doge and the dunk. He stuffs two players and continues down the field. That's the aggression that Riot need. It's what they brought in the previous game before things went south. And look, dunk, another double tap. This man hitting bangers left and right, James.
LeDuc, that was nasty. Off the ceiling, off the backboard, and in. A triple tap from LeDuc. And he made it look routine.
That is incredible. LeDuc, so clinical with those double taps. He hasn't missed what feels like a single one when he's given the opportunity.
LeDuc, even though we saw Riot lose that last game, LeDuc still had a great game.
Yeah.
A hat trick, that double tap. You know, he was a huge part of most of the goals, especially with his physicality. LeDuc really doing his best to get Riot back into this.
And there's barely any opportunities for the boys on Riot. And I think that's what it's all about, generating opportunities. I mean, their striking has always been phenomenal. In the finals of Regional Event 3, 3 of these players, all of them, were in the top 6 for shooting percentages throughout that whole tournament. And that is so clinical from these guys. When they're given 1 or 2 shots, they're going to make it count.
They've got to make it work here if they want to keep that extra life up in the upper bracket. Off the post, Amphis slows it down. Amphis throwing a changeup, and you see Riot swing for the fences and hitting air.
Amphis, just hit the brakes. Let him fly by. Embarrass him on the replay. That's what you're doing to the other team. And some solid 50s earlier on that we saw James from Express in the corner. Squeeze it out in Amphis. He's going to capitalize.
Oh, that's so funny. You love seeing that. The mind games coming into play. The confidence from Amphis.
And they're tied up. You think you get a mind game play like that when you're up maybe 2 goals, you got a little security. But no, again, no panic in this guy's DNA. Like we saw whenever he was on the backboard, he stays calm and he doesn't freak out when it comes to those rotations.
Torsos thinking about passing, looked like he wanted to just go for the solo play. Walcott, testing net. Express out of boost. Amphis has 100 in net. Will work his way out. See Amphis in the trenches, battling, gets the mid boost as well, and now going for net. Express the rebound. Almost scores, but Amphis, the work that he's been doing to get that ball out of his own half, that's impressive.
Oh, Walcott. Oh, my goodness, what a stuff from Torsos. And I was laughing earlier, James, because I saw Amphis just making something out of nothing with all those 50s. The dribbling, now Express does it. You described it so perfectly. In the trenches are Amphis and Express making things work.
And Walcott making things difficult. You see him streaking in. Spy Doge had the challenge there.
Wow.
But that confusion didn't help things out.
You think Ground Zero would be sweating a little bit, seeing as they've been in this situation before, gotten reverse swept. When they hit match point first in the best of 7, they come out here again to try with a second chance and just finish this series out. It's looking like we're gonna get a Ground Zero win, James.
Certainly looking like it. Unless Riot can get one here. Leduc, he's been brilliant. This one will go off the backboard.
Oh,
Maybe an own goal, and it's finally cleared out by Express. That was a close call. Not the most traditional of defensive styles.
I don't think Torsos had any other option.
And that will do it. Ground Zero. Game 3 had that brilliant comeback. In Game 4, they closed things out. And they're looking quite good, taking down Riot.
Such a confident win from Ground Zero. Not only did we see them storm the field with mechanics, with flip resets in Game 1 especially, Ampus was able to adapt and not get in his own head, get tilted about the fact that he did miss that crucial double tap. I believe it was in Game number 3. Comes out here, stellar performance from all 3 of them, and they're able to close out the series, James, even when Riot, this wasn't a bad series by any means. The scoreline, the sweep, does not represent how these guys played, specifically Leduc on those double taps. You got to give them credit, but Ground Zero looking like some of the favorites right now to take this whole tournament.
At Ground Zero, you had Torsos making those mechanical plays, the reaction time plays. Ampus, if he starts hitting those shots, he was getting so close to making some incredible plays.
So scary.
If he's on, then you worry even more. Ground Zero, they just swept Riot, who looked really good against the Renegades. So, it's promising for Ground Zero and Ground Zero fans.
Yeah.
Riot, like you said, Leduc had a great series. Walcott, had some good defensive stops. We saw that final mistake near the end. But, Riot, I think they just got outmatched by Ground Zero. Ground Zero's pace and play was just a step ahead. They get the win. Ground Zero going to be moving on to the winners final. We still have one more winners semifinal, and that will be coming up after the break. We've got Cringe Society going up against Direwolves. Stay with us.